Hi, you guys. Welcome back to another episode of A Lot of You Have Been Asking. I am so excited to be joined by today's guest. We have the founder of a brand that I love to follow online. They have such an interesting story. Kelly from Coastal Caviar is here. Hi, Kelly.
Hi.
Welcome to the podcast. I'm so excited because we have known each other, or known of each other now for a really long time.
We go 10 years.
Yeah, we go way back to the days of bloggerhood online. And I'm really excited to see all of your success. Coastal Caviar is huge. Congratulations, first and foremost. Before we get into the brand, I need to talk to you about your background and how you got into this world of entrepreneurship, of content, of social media. Take me back to the very beginning.
Okay. Well, I guess it all started 11 years ago. And this is going to age me, but like you said, it was, we called it blogging back then. I had an actual website. All the women that had fashion blogs had these kitschy names for their blogs. Yep. So mine was Diamonds for Dimes. Yep. It was supposed to be a look for less. And I did that for, honestly, up until I met my husband, which was 2021. So I did do it for quite a long time. And I always had that on the side. And I kind of learned, obviously, the back end of that side of the business, working with a brand, contracts, how that whole influencer industry works. Part. Yeah. Which, thank God, I had that background, because that is now what has really helped us build the business. Yeah. And then I had a traditional 9-to-5 in marketing up until this past February. I was working as an associate creative director at TJ Maxx. Oh, wow. And I loved that job. It took me a while to leave because I loved it so much. I definitely should have left sooner. My life... To
help you scale the business.
Yeah, I was drowning. But in between corporate jobs, I started a social media marketing agency. I did that for about 2 years, tried to get that business to take off. And I did okay, but not enough to survive in Boston. So yeah, everyone will always say you had such quick success. And I'm maybe with this, but it's been a long time coming. I've been through it.
That's the thing about social media is they see the one peak and they don't see everything that came before it. Yeah. There was a lot. Like you said, there was the blog, there was the agency, obviously TJX. Yeah. That all led you, and I feel complemented your business in a really unique way. Yeah. It must have just, those were all the puzzle pieces that built Coastal Caviar.
Yeah, it all happened for a reason now. I can look back. I remember when I was doing my blog being so frustrated. These other girls are taking off. What am I doing wrong? And Coastal Caviar has been difficult, but, I know a lot of people say, the whole influencer thing is not a lot of work. Back in the day,
it was a hustle.
It was a lot of work because it wasn't the way it is now where you can hop on your phone and film a really raw video. It was dressed to the nines, polished.
You were doing photo
shoots.
Creative
directing a photo on the weekend. So I'd wake up on a Saturday morning, having gone out the night before,
hungover.
Yeah, get myself together to then shoot all day Saturday, all day Sunday, just so I had enough content to get me through the week.
Such a grind.
It was a grind. Yeah. I know it sounds silly probably to a lot of people, but it was a grind.
It really was.
Doing that every weekend for 10 years.
Insane.
It doesn't compare at all to anything. You could not pay me to do it now.
No, so what started from there to Coastal Caviar? What started your want to create something on your own and to build Coastal Caviar? Because explain to people who are listening what Coastal Caviar is.
So we are mainly known for our custom charm necklaces, but I'm in the camp that we do a lot more than that. Yeah. It's what we're known for though. It's just a classic create your own necklace. And that's what really, took the brand off was our custom pieces. But now we do, custom necklaces, custom bag charms, custom hats in the store. We're all about customization, but we also have just like our standard line of jewelry. And hopefully one day expand into other things.
Yeah. What inspired it? Like, were you just like at home one day and you were like swiping on TikTok, or like we're at work one day and you were kind of like, here's the things I see trending. Like, I could make that a little bit better.
Yeah.
Have you always been like a crafty person that could like do that type of thing? Because I certainly could never do that.
I've always been into like art. I wouldn't say like I was crafty in the sense that I knew how to use pliers or like knew what I was doing in any sense. The story goes, I was sitting on the beach and we were leaving for a trip in a couple weeks.
Okay.
This was like June of 2023. And I really wanted a charm necklace. Now they're everywhere, obviously.
Totally.
Back in the day, in June of 23, there was really
You were
none.
having trouble finding it.
Yeah, there was none. I found a girl on Etsy that was doing it, but I had to like DM back and forth with her on Instagram and like circle the charms and be like, I like this one, this one, this one. Couldn't see what it actually looked like. And
couldn't place the charms together type of thing.
Yeah, like I just would circle what I liked. And I turned to Colt and my husband and I was like, this is it.
Yeah.
Like, I have a business idea. And actually, my husband's father was my marketing professor at Providence College, oddly enough. Me and Colt met 10 years later, but he's a marketing teacher. So I turned to him and I was like, I think this is it. Like, I have an idea. And they were like, yeah, it's a good idea.
They probably were also, they're also just like guys
at
the end of the day.
Fully get it. But by the time I got home that night, I had purchased a domain name, started ordering chain, jewelry supplies, pliers.
So you immediately knew it was Coastal Caviar.
I think, Colt actually came up with the name.
Yeah.
He gets credit for that.
I love it.
We started like spitballing names and I knew I wanted something coastal. And then he said the word caviar and I was like, oh my God, that's like genius.
I love it.
It's such a good name.
It is.
And I, to this day, think we would not have been as successful with a different name. Something about the name, people want to say it. They want to say, oh, I got my Coastal Caviar necklace.
They want to wear it.
Like, they want the hat.
Exactly.
So we came up with the name that same day. And then I bought the domain name when I got home. And I've always been like very impulsive, which a lot of the time is not a good thing.
Trouble, I'm sure.
But in some ways like this, I think it's a good thing. I did the same thing when I started my digital marketing agency. I bought the website and the next day I put in my 2-week notice at my full-time job. Like I'm very, very impulsive.
I love it.
But yeah, it worked out this time.
That's crazy. And it was just like a moment on the beach where you were like in need of something.
Yeah.
And you're like, there's no market for this right now. I'm going to make the market for this right now.
And the piece that I thought was missing was being able to see what you're making. So the most expensive part of starting was working with a developer to make this website where it's interactive and you can drag and drop the charms and see what you're making. That had never existed prior to our business, and now they're everywhere and they're kind of like blueprinted off of what we've done. But that imitation
is the sincerest form of flattery, they say.
But that I knew that was what. I'm also just a huge shopper, and I feel like I know the psychology of like what makes a woman want to shop.
And the shopping experience is so important.
I was like, this is like an activity. This is fun. And that was kind of just like the aha moment.
So what was it from the aha moment to like when you first had the actual first like necklace or piece of jewelry in your hands? What was that? What was the timeline for that? What was the process like?
So that was June 23, we had the idea.
Yeah.
And then we didn't launch the business until January of 24.
Okay.
So June up until, about like 6 months. I can't do math, but it was like 6 or 7 months later.
Yeah.
And it took so long just because, well, one, I was working full time, planning a wedding. We had a lot going on.
A lot of things going on.
But I also needed to learn the ins and outs of the jewelry industry, make sure that we had a really good product. We went through so many trials and tribulations of what chain and, these jump rings tarnished, these charms tarnished, what materials do we need to be looking for?
It's all like education and experience and like just like immersing yourself in all that.
And you kind of, with jewelry, you have to test it for like 6 months and make sure that it has like longevity. So a lot of just making sure the product was perfect, getting boxes. I'm definitely like an all or nothing person. So when we did this, I was like, no, we're going to have the best packaging, the best website.
And you worked in social, so you're like, we have to have the best social media. We got to do it. We got to work with the creators. So it's all just like setting the groundwork to be a successful company. And then you guys launched January 2024. What was the launch experience like? Was it frightening? Were you like shitting your pants? I would be freaking out.
I never thought that it was going to be what it was. So it really wasn't, because
you were kind of like, what do I have to lose?
I was like, oh, I'll sell a few necklaces to my friends and family. And ironically, I mean, our friends and family like definitely showed up for us.
Totally.
Like made our initial investment back quickly in terms of like the website build out and whatnot, because so many people placed orders that were like within our circle. But ironically, no one got a custom charm necklace.
Wow.
So I did start to have doubt, like,
your initial idea was not what was like the best seller.
Yeah, people were getting like initial necklaces. Again, it was like a very trendy product, so I was like, maybe people don't get it yet. It's not really out there yet. But I did have a moment of like, that first week, like we didn't sell a single one.
Interesting.
Yeah.
And then what changed everything? What really got things going? Was it Alix Earle?
Yeah. Like week 2.
Yeah. Because I was watching front row as all this was happening. I was like, this is so interesting. This is so fascinating. Like just from a marketing perspective, I like love to see it. So explain that to people who might not be familiar.
So I remember like my mom being like, well, I love Coastal Caviar, but like how are you going to get this out there? Like beyond your friends and family? And I was like, I have this idea if I do a TikTok series that's basically like, come make a charm necklace with me for blank influencer. It will, one, generate a lot of engagement. People will start tagging the influencer. And also I feel like people get a lot of videos about themselves. Yeah. So the likelihood of it popping up on their feed is pretty probable.
Yeah.
So
that was smart strategy.
Thank you. That was my game plan. Yeah. And I was like, let's start out big. Let's
go to the top.
I'm going to go with Alix Earle first. Never thinking honestly, I didn't think she'd probably see the video. Yeah. She's probably bombarded with
inundated with stuff for sure.
But I love her. And I was like, let's just go with it.
Yeah.
Posted that video. And she DM'd me being like, I love the necklace.
Just getting, like, that, first of all, just for people who don't know, like, Alix Earle is, like, one of the biggest influencers in the game right now. Like, she is constantly selling out product. Like, she is just a huge name in marketing right now. Yeah. So even getting that DM, I would be like, oh, my God.
No, I've never experienced a moment like that. And luckily... Colt gets props for a couple things. Yeah. The name and filming my reaction when I got the message.
Yeah.
I don't know how he knew to do that because he's not like in social media. Yeah. But he filmed it and we had just come up from the gym. I was making dinner. We actually lived right over there. I lived in a studio apartment.
Yeah.
And I had on like the most ridiculous outfit. Like I had thrown a sweater over like my bike shorts and I had like a teddy bear furry like headband from washing my face after the gym. He filmed my reaction.
The most real and honest moment.
It was. And honestly, like 10 years ago, I never would have posted that video. I would have been mortified.
Totally.
But he got my reaction and that went viral.
Yeah.
So just from the reaction video, we got close to 100 orders before Alex even shared it.
That's insane.
And I was like, oh my God, this is insane.
Yeah.
And I'm working full time. I don't even have enough product to fulfill 100 orders. And I'm hand making all of these by myself. Like, when am I gonna get this done? So I was staying up till like 1 a.m.
That's insane.
The necklaces. And then 3 days later, she shared the necklace.
And then it was like a whole nother boom, I'm sure.
It was insane.
Yeah.
We were sitting in my living room with my parents and my sister and my niece and nephew. And I remember my dad like got out this bell from one, he like had it in the garage from when I was little, and I like needed to come home and ring the bell. So he brought out the bell and was just ringing every time we got an order.
That's crazy.
It was just like every 10 seconds an order came through.
That's wild. Shows the power of her, but also like the power of seeing your product on her.
Yeah,
you know?
I mean, no one has the influence that she does.
Yeah.
Like, I've worked with people, or at least the influence within the space that we're operating in. Like, we've worked with influencers that have a larger following and do a fraction of what Alex did.
Yeah, she just has such like a hyper engaged audience.
Yeah.
Like she says like, I like this. They're like immediately purchasing, like adding to cart. That's so cool though to see, like, from your background in working in like the influencer creator world to then it coming full circle to where you're now, you know, working with one of the top creators, and she's really starting the fire for you guys in terms of like the business is booming now.
Yeah.
That's wild.
I'm just like grateful that there's a lot of influencers of her size that like would take the necklace, but
maybe not post about it
or wear it and not say the name of the brand, like tell the story. She held up the necklace, said this girl named Kelly made me this necklace. Her business is called Coastal Caviar. Like, so grateful for that. So she is just like honestly a really great person. And we were really lucky.
And since then, like, what's been the trajectory of the business looked like? What has it looked like since that took place?
I think I was hesitant when that all happened that first month. I was like, oh, is this just like a fluke?
This is just a viral moment that's not going to stand the test of time.
Yeah, I was definitely nervous about that. But I was like, I'm not going to let this start to fall off. So I just, in between like trying to get the orders out, we were like 400 orders out at any given moment. Yeah. We were 400 behind.
That's crazy.
And I was making them all myself.
Oh my God.
And I was working and
in your studio apartment.
We were about to get married. So it was like
a lot of things happening at once. The chips were stacked against you.
It was like it was a really like
crazy time.
It was the best time, but like really dark.
Oh my God, I can only imagine. Well, people don't talk about that. Like, there's such your business is booming. You're in such a high. You're planning all these amazing things, but you were probably like, I'm fucking tired.
I was like having a mental breakdown. Like, for sure.
Yeah. Understandably so.
Yeah. But we started like driving batches of necklaces around Boston to have girls make them. So I would like. Basically how it would work was Colt would like bag the orders. So say a girl got 8 charms, bag them up, put it in a little tray and fill the tray, 50 orders. We would go drop it off at a girl's house that would make it.
Oh, wow. So
we taught them. Yeah.
You basically like learned that you needed to outsource some of the stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we'd go throughout Boston. One girl lived in Eastie. One girl lived in Cambridge. Every morning we'd wake up, pick up the stuff they did the night before. And that's how we got through till April. So January till April, we were making the necklaces. And then, thank God, we found a manufacturer in Rhode Island that was able to do this. Okay. Because a lot of people said, good luck finding somebody that's going to want to do this. Because this is a nightmare scenario. Like,
because of the customization
of
it all.
Having 300 different options, keeping track of that inventory, and having to pack an order with 300 little tiny options is not an easy.
It's way harder than just like a mass production of like one charm necklace that somebody can get.
We talked to quite a few people that were like, no one's.
Good luck.
Yeah, I used to work at Alex and Ani, so I did have connections
okay.
in the jewelry world. And every person I talked to was like, yeah, good luck.
That's so interesting.
But we found someone that has been amazing.
It's not always the first door you knock on.
Yeah.
It's the right
Yeah.
door.
Yeah.
Or the second or third or fourth. Yeah. Wow, that's so cool. And so since then, since you found your production partner, what has life looked like for you? You've been able to probably focus a lot more on like the marketing side of stuff, because that's where your like background is in. It's not in necessarily in jewelry. It's in the marketing side of things. So it's kind of gone probably for you to like focus on that. It's good for you to focus on that side of things.
Yeah. So that's pretty much my day-to-day now.
Mm-hmm.
I still like manage the inventory, which can be a lot, just because we have so many SKUs. But outside of that, it is just filming TikToks, writing emails,
trying to work with other creators,
planning photo shoots, planning the actual design, and then influencer marketing. We'd send out like close to 10 to 20 a week, depending. So
that's so cool. It's such a full circle moment for you.
Yeah.
You must look at it and be like, I can't believe all this happened.
It's so when it first happened, I was like, is this like a dream? Like,
is this a dream? Is this a fluke? Like, what's going on? I would be like, that's insane. What is like the biggest thing you've learned about yourself through like owning a business like this and seeing the trials and tribulations that it brings?
I guess probably like I'm a lot stronger than I thought I've been in the past. I mean, we've gone through lots of different ups and downs that come with owning a business. Cease and desist letter, like scary things that we've had to get through, and just a lot of hard work. Like, I definitely have always worked hard throughout my life, but this is a different level.
For sure.
But yeah, it's been great.
I feel like there's such a learning curve to any entrepreneurial endeavor that people take. So it's like, I would have been like freaking out at first over the viral moment, and then the Alex Earl of it all, and then people saying no, you can't do that. You're gonna have a hard time finding a production partner. Have you always been it seems like you've always been somebody that's kind of like, no, I'm gonna make this work, and I don't give a shit what you tell me. It's gonna work.
I definitely was just like, we will find a way.
Yeah.
Like, this is such a niche and strange thing, but I would literally pretend that I was like the girl in Devil Wears Prada, where like her life depended on like getting a task completed. And I'd be like, if I don't find a developer by the end of the day that can like build X, Y, and Z, like
Meryl Streep will be yelling at me.
I will be in trouble. And as an anxious person, that works for me.
Fueled the fire.
I'm like, you have no option but to get this done. So I would figure out a way. So
that's crazy. And what about the give back component of your business? Because I know that a donation is made to an organization for every necklace or piece that is sold. What is that? What is the organization that you guys donate to?
So it's called Sailors for the Sea.
Okay.
And they're actually very big in the Marblehead community because we're a very large sailing and boating community. Sailors for the Sea is basically the largest organization for ocean conservation within sailing and boating. So they focus on clean regattas, education for the youth around ocean health, and it's been a great partnership. I love, even in my town, just seeing the signs around because I'm like, oh, it feels nice that it's so close to home. And
have you always wanted to like have that give back component be a part of the business?
I always knew we would have like some charitable aspect.
Yeah.
Honestly, it surprises me how many businesses don't have that. I feel like it is just kind of not even just to, do good and give back, but consumers look for that now.
Totally.
It's very important. So it does, now I look for it.
Yeah.
And like, I don't see it as often as I thought.
Do this? Yeah.
And especially with the younger generation, it is like very, very important to them. So, it does surprise me how many there aren't. But we definitely wanted something that felt, one, organic to like our life and a cause we care about, but also something that went hand in hand with the brand. I came up with the name of the business on the beach in front of the ocean. So we wanted to make sure that there was a tie there. So I'm really happy with the choice.
And everything.
Yeah.
No, it's cool. I think it's amazing for a brand to want to do that. Brands, like you said, there's not a ton of brands that are doing it. Brands don't have to do it, but I think consumers look for it and then like want to invest in products and companies that do have some type of charitable component, that are doing like give backs and are doing good for not just themselves but the community around them.
Yeah.
One thing I'm curious about, what is one of your biggest, as somebody that works in like the jewelry space, do you have any like jewelry hot takes? Like a lot of people are like, I like engagement rings that are made with like rose gold are a no for me, or like, you know, I'm sick of seeing this type of jewelry, or sick of seeing that type of jewelry. Or things you think will be trending soon, like that are excited to learn more about or interested in.
Beaded necklaces are coming back.
Yeah.
Like chunky beaded necklaces. And I hope...
Oh, like from the days when we were in college, when we would have those big like, statement ones?
Not
I'm like, please not Charming
like
Charlie.
Bubble necklace. I know what you're imagining. Not that.
Okay.
Just like a big beaded necklace.
Okay.
We'll have some in our fall collection.
Love
but
that.
I think those are going to be back.
Yeah.
I don't know. Only hot take is that there's a lot of misconceptions about jewelry, and I think consumers want to be educated consumers right now, where they, you know, every time a girl walks into the store, they're like, what's the material of this?
Yeah.
And there's a lot of I've seen it on TikTok. There's a lot of misconceptions about gold plated versus gold filled versus solid gold, what this all means. Gold plated doesn't mean that it's Claire's quality jewelry. There's also a range to that.
Yeah.
So if you ever see gold plated, it's not necessarily a bad thing.
Oh, that's a good concept.
Gold plated can be very thickly gold plated. We are at the level of like a gold fill, but there's definitely not... It seems like there's a misconception floating around on TikTok where like gold plated is the devil.
Quality.
It doesn't mean that. Early on, we actually had, before we were making now we make all our charms in-house in Rhode Island. When I first started, I was just like sourcing them online.
Yeah.
So we were using like gold plated charms back then, some gold plated. And this woman on TikTok made a video being like, all of you guys obsessing over Coastal Caviar should know that she has gold-plated charms, and that is, you know, equivalent to Claire's quality and blah, 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 blah. And she owned a charm business.
Interesting.
She was like a
so
competitor.
There's a conflict of interest.
But I was like, this is crazy. Also, now that I know so much.
Yeah.
And like I literally can go into our factories and like learn about this stuff. That's not true. Like there really is a range, and it's not, you know, a lot of the stuff that is really cheaper that you get on Amazon is actually just called gold color. It's not even really
gold.
Any
like,
gold.
Yeah.
And there's also something called PVD plating, which is where people are using that like anti-tarnish claim. It's like the metal that they use, coating that they use on like vehicles.
Oh, yeah.
So it does not tarnish, but it's also not gold, and it doesn't have like a true gold color. It's darker.
Interesting.
So I've just learned a lot, and I see a lot out there that's just like not true.
Yeah. How did you did you guys respond to that at all, or were you like ignoring?
So it was like peak mental breakdown season for me. I was like deep in the orders.
Like, don't add this to my plate.
Slept. Okay, Colt had left for a business trip, so I'm just like sobbing in the apartment, losing it. Like my sister's in PR, so she's like, "All right, you gotta make a response. Yeah. Here's some notes."
Crisis management going on.
So I like filmed a response. Oh my God, I was like a hot mess. It's probably still on my TikTok, but people actually, I mean, TikTok, there's some negativity, but like people rallied behind us. Yeah. So we got through that.
That's awesome.
We call it the Charm Wars. Yeah. We've had about 3 episodes.
Oh my God. Honestly, that should be its like own little show.
You want to have a book or like a movie. Yeah, that was Charm Wars episode 1.
Oh my God, crazy. The things people can post online without any worry about where it's going to go or who's going to see it or who it's going to affect. I'm so curious, how do influencers and like social media play into your business? Because I know it's your background, but obviously the Alex Earl of it all and working with creators, like, do you have any like really good stories from it or really bad stories from it? Is it in the middle? I'm sure it's all over the place.
I would say like 99%. I've had like really, really great experiences with the influencer community. We don't pay for influencer marketing, so everything's been gifted with like the terms of like, here's a gift, and if you like it, great. No need
pressure.
to post.
Yeah,
I think that's one thing I learned from working in content creation myself was like, I'm certainly not going to be the type that's gifting a necklace and then following up like, hey, did you get it? Hey,
where's your post?
Yeah, not going to do that because they should be getting paid, and I just don't have the budget right now. So it's always been gifted, and if you like it, great. And most of them have shared. I think people know that we're a small business. I simply DM them, as myself. And like, I think people know me as the face of the brand too. So I've been able to like create some friendships, and it's built our business. Like
totally.
Like way more valuable, I think, than ads or like meta ads. It really has driven the business for us.
Yeah.
I've only had like one somewhat negative. I don't even know if I would say it was like a negative experience, but maybe like one.
Yeah, which is good because a lot of people, you hear so many, people go online to like talk shit.
Yeah.
So like it's good to hear that like most of your online experiences have been pleasant ones, and that most of the creators. And I feel like there's this industry in general, the whole like creator economy, the whole creator world. It is relatively small, relatively new, and everybody knows everybody. Like at least in Boston, like I feel like we all know each other.
Yeah.
And so it's interesting to hear and good to hear that it's been a positive experience for sure.
Yeah, definitely.
And what's next for Coastal Caviar? I know you guys have the shop at the Current right now. Are you thinking of opening more brick and mortar? Do you want to focus more online, expanding like the brand? I'm wearing the hat right now. Tell me more. What's next?
I think we learned with the Current, which for people listening that aren't from Boston, it's basically little pop-ups. They're physical stores.
Yeah.
They're not like a booth. It's a real brick and mortar retail store, but they kind of rotate in and out different small businesses, and at a low barrier point of entry. No long-term lease. That stuff scares me.
Totally.
So I was able to like test out retail for us, and it did so much better than I had ever imagined. We outperformed online for the 4 months that we were open. So that made me realize like what we built online with being able to drag and drop the charms is good. And we meant to, replicate an actual charm bar, but nothing is better than
an in-person experience.
People want to be in person with a product like that. And we had so many people come in saying, oh, I've been following you since Alex Earl, but I needed to see them and like see the sizes.
For sure.
And so retail works for us. I know for a lot of brands, everyone's, I came from TJX, which at TJ Maxx, it was like we're the only one that's able to
still be doing this.
Keep doing retail. So I was definitely hesitant, but it works. So we're going to focus on opening some stores this year throughout the country. And I think that is like our best step for growth. And then in terms of like other products, I think we go back and forth. Like, do we want to start with loungewear? Do we want to start with swimwear? But that's like a whole nother industry that I have to learn.
Yeah.
And like, I would need to bring on the right people because I'm very aware of like when I have no
your strengths.
idea, like no clue.
Yeah.
So I'd want to make sure we did it right.
For sure.
But
what is your biggest piece of advice to anybody that like wants to be an entrepreneur or wants to start a company? What would you say? Like, okay, here's my 2 cents.
I know I mentioned being impulsive. It can be a good thing.
Yeah,
like,
right.
You have to just do it. Because a lot of people are like, oh, I want to like start a business one day, or it's that like step of like doing it.
It's actually like throwing yourself in the deep end type of situation.
And I also would say like my number one piece of advice too is like building a career first. Without the experience that I had leading up to Coastal Caviar, like it never would have worked. Like all of those things that we talked about.
Yeah.
The blog, the digital marketing agency, the 9-to-5, like that's where I learned everything. And you kind of, I would say like at least like 5 to 10 years of like normal work experience in the industry that you want to go into, I think is important, but maybe not. I mean, there's
and
success.
That's not to say you can't be doing it while you're also building your career. Like there can be parallel. They don't have to be.
And always having like a safety net.
For sure.
But yeah.
That's cool. I'm so excited to see everything that comes from Coastal Caviar. And I can't believe it's been 10 years since we reconnected. I'm so happy that you were able to come on the podcast. Tell everybody where they can follow the brand and everything about you.
So you guys can follow the brand at Shop Coastal Caviar, and that's on Instagram and TikTok.
And what about you? Are you personally just like on Coastal Caviar, like doing everything on there?
I go back and forth. I haven't like opened up my actual Instagram or my. I'm like, should I start my own TikTok but then I'm like, oh my god, double the posts. Like I'm already like behind, it's so tough. I'm not gonna go there. And then the website is shopcoastalcaviar.com.
Amazing. We'll have it all linked in the episode description. Thank you so much for coming on the pod. I'm so excited to reconnect with you.
Having me.
And I can't wait. We have to get coffee and like talk offline soon.
Yeah.
All right. You guys can subscribe, like the podcast, follow Coastal Caviar, follow me online, and I will see you guys next week.
Bye.